do you like games like Casual?
NBA basketball. Remember when people said that teams didn't play defense? Tell that to the Boston Celtics, to Larry Siegfried, to Johnny Havlicek, to Bill Russell. These are the Celtics on defense. Emmett Bryant helped save the Celtics with his defensive magic. Coach Jack Ramsey of the 76ers also stressed tougher defense after trading Chamberlain to Los Angeles. When Luke Jackson, Wilt's replacement at center, got hurt early and was lost the rest of the way, harder work by Darrell Emhoff, Wally Jones, and Hal Greer gave the 76ers a gambling defense to handle their problems. The full court press was the pet defensive weapon of the Atlanta Hawks. They pressed the pass in, and they pressed the ball when it was passed in, often with the same result. Team defense improved the rising young Knicks, who played a terrific ball-hawking game. The Knicks set traps for interceptions by Dave DeBusschere. And DeBusschere, obtained in a deal with Detroit for Walt Bellamy and Butch Colmine, made it go. The Knicks' Bill Bradley had to guard taller forwards, but he was able to front them because he had a Willis Reed to cover him on lead passes. Willis the blocker, and Bradley the retriever. Then there was the Knicks' Walt Frazier with the quickest hands in the East. Just watch those flickering fingers. Here's a nice view of Frazier doing the whole bit, stealing, moving, and scoring. Yes, defense is the name of the game in the NBA. They just don't let you do what you want to do. It can get awfully tight at times, with defenders crowding you high, low, and in between. Sometimes it's just plain tough to score in this league. The hands come out of nowhere, and the blocks get made by defenders who seem to know your next move before you make it. The NBA coaches had to do something to stop such powerful scoring machines as the Los Angeles Lakers with Chamberlain, Baylor, and West. Of course, there's no defense against a perfectly timed fast break. There goes Seattle for another score. On the Cincinnati Royals fast break here from Tom Van Arsdale to Al Tucker. That's all, brother. The Detroit Pistons execute with Walt Bellamy and Happy Hairston, a puzzlement for any defense. Dick Van Arsdale of Phoenix puts together a rebound, a drive, and a spinning move that gets him two. Here the Milwaukee Bucks turn a ball-hawking defense into a fast-breaking offense. Another case in point was Will Chamberlain, in low, feeding Keith Erickson. Or Will Chamberlain moving out, to feed and pick for the incredibly talented Elgin Baylor. The Chicago Bulls' deliberate attack impact created a different problem for the defense. The Bulls would work the ball to run out the 24-second clock as much as possible. Then they would hit Tom Boerwinkle in the pivot and manage to keep the scores down. The general idea was to try and halt an Earl Monroe, if you could, that is. Or a Flynn Robinson of the Milwaukee Bucks in full flight. Or the fancy passing of a Wally Jones. The truth is that the fancy moves and the fancy shots of the super players of the NBA are just plain unstoppable in certain situations. And mostly because their speed and skill lie beyond credible limits. These men are the best basketball players on earth. The best of the best gathered in Baltimore for the annual East-West All-Star Game. For the West, there were stars like Hudson, Van Arsdale, LaRusso, Chamberlain, Caldwell, Mullins, Goodrich, Sloan, Wilkins, Hayes, Kogis, and Baylor under Coach Richie Garrett. And for the East, McLaughlin, Bain, Cunningham, Reed, Greer, Johnson, Unsold, Lucas, Havlicek, Russell, Robertson, and Monroe under Coach of the Year Gene Shue of Baltimore. Coach Guerin had a pretty good bench on his side as Elvin Hayes starts at center for the West ahead of Chamberlain and makes the game's first basket. Enter now the big O. Oscar Robertson of Cincinnati helps the East take charge, with Havlicek passing beautifully to Russell for the score. Watch Gus Johnson, number 25 of the East. Gus really turns them on in hometown Baltimore. So does Big Wes Unseld, number 41, headed for Rookie of the Year and MVP honors. There's Will Chamberlain, laying one up for the West. The Western marksmanship can't keep the East from winning 123 to 112. Still, the great players, the great shots, and the great moves all make this classic a sight to see and to remember. The victorious East is led again by Oscar Robertson, who receives his third MVP trophy from Commissioner Walter Kennedy. By now, you get the idea that NBA basketball is speed, finesse, coordination, and strength in equal doses of sparkling defensive and offensive play.
Here's the hats to the new equipment. Picture was there the eggs.
These games see the ultimate in playmaking, expertise, and just plain impact. Speaking of impact, nobody provided more explosives than the Baltimore Bullets. The young, strong Bullets put together an amazing season, going from last place to first in 1 year. Led by their outstanding rookie, Wes Unseld, they nosed out Philadelphia for the Eastern Division title. That's Unseld doing his thing and firing to Kevin Lockery for a basket. The Boston Celtics were beaten down to a fourth-place finish behind the New York Knicks. And people were sure Bill Russell and his players were finally over the hill. Los Angeles, because of Super Jerry West. Super Elgin Baylor and Super Will Chamberlain looked like the team to beat in the playoffs. Chamberlain, West, and Baylor had led the Lakers to the most victories in their history, 55, and they appeared certain to bring Los Angeles its first NBA championship at the season's end. Atlanta had injury problems. These forced coach Richie Guerin to play again, and Richie helped the Hawks finish second in the Western Division. The San Francisco Warriors, handicapped by injuries to Jeff Mullins and Nate Thurmond, wind up in third place. Elvin Hayes, San Diego's fine rookie and the NBA scoring champion, lifted the Rockets into the playoffs for the first time by leading them home fourth. Watch the Big E, number 11. He does everything. Russell and Phil Jackson of the Knicks were victimized by injuries. Gus Johnson of the Baltimore Bullets tore knee ligaments before the critical playoffs. But sideline Bill Russell made it back in time. As New York opened its play against the Bullets in Baltimore, the five Iron Men of the Knicks trot out. DeBusschere, Bradley, Reed, Barnett, and Frazier will have to carry the load pretty much by themselves. And Walt Frazier go at it right away. Earl the Pearl can drive any guard crazy. He's a hard man to stop. Wes Unseld works on Willis Reed, hoping to tire him. The 1-2 punch Unseld and Monroe must be stopped if the Knicks starters survive. But survive they do, for Reed doesn't tire. Reed again blocking Unseld. If it's not Reed, it's Dave DeBusschere, who rebounds and scores. Or Bill Bradley, or the slick Walt Frazier. That's Frazier, number 10. Reed gets 43 points in the final game, but it's a combination of all the Knicks and all their skills that add up to a 4-game sweep of the Eastern Division champions. New York over Baltimore. Russell of Boston is Philadelphia Jack Ramsey's big playoff problem. So is Billy Cunningham's aching back that keeps him from starting. The 76ers run into Russell right away. He blocks 12 shots in the first game and grabs 15 rebounds. And Boston wins. Russell's still blocking shots as John Havlicek, Larry Siegfried, and Bailey Howell help the surging Celtics run off to a 3-0 lead in the series. That's Hal Greer, number 15 on the far side for the 76ers. And his outstanding play salvages the fourth game for Philadelphia. But Dennis Bryant, picked up from Phoenix, helps put the 76ers away 4-1 and bring his new team face-to-face with his old team, the New York Knickerbockers. Out in the West, Jeff Mullins is San Francisco's high scorer against Los Angeles. The Warriors, playing a deliberate style, carefully looking to hit the hot man, discovers that the strategy pays off. They take a 2-0 lead over the Lakers. Nate Thurmond, their big center, is the hot hand now. It's all Thurmond for a while as he blocks Egan. Then taps back. And then screens out Chamberlain for the rebound. But Mullins, who scores 36 points in the opener, is hard to stop too. And when Rudy LaRusso becomes the third sensation in the lineup, it's just impossible. Then a turning point. Los Angeles gets a break when Mullins is pinched and hurts his leg in the first minute of the third game. Chamberlain comes on strong with 27 rebounds, and Jerry West, who is to average 32 points per game in the series, gives the Lakers momentum. There's too much Wilt and too much West, with Chamberlain taking charge of the boards, and the Lakers win 4-2. Hudson is the big gun of the Atlanta Hawks, who take on San Diego in the other Western Division playoffs. Hudson does his job right away with 39 points in the opener. Moreover, Atlanta's big men produce. Defending superbly under the boards are Bill Bridges and Bell Mulvaney to give the Hawks a 2-0 start. But San Diego breaks back with the ball-stealing tactics of Stu Lantz. And the drive of Jim Barnett to tie the series after 4 games. But Atlanta's defense takes charge. Beatty intercepts a Hayes pass, and Joe Caldwell scores. It's a painful ending for Coach McMahon's Rockets, who lose 4 games to 2. That brings Richie Guerin and his Hawks up against the Lakers. Keep your eye on number 44, Jerry West. He's got extrasensory perception and a will to win that never wavers. West does it again when he steals Caldwell's pass. Bill Hewitt, the Lakers' #1 draft choice, gets the basket. Then it's Will Chamberlain who dominates the boards, grabbing rebound after rebound. And the Lakers win the first 2 games, each by 2 points. Walt Hazzard and Big Sal Mulvaney and a rugged defense earn Atlanta the 3rd game, 99-86. Once more, Wilson still takes over. Actually, there's no stopping the tremendous trio of Chamberlain, West, and Baylor as Los Angeles wins the series 4-1. That's Baylor doing the scoring. Now it's up to Bill Russell to get past the Knicks and set up a title series with Los Angeles. The Celtics swarm all over New York in Madison Square Garden. Russell has them hoodooed. Bryant, the smallest of the Celtics, hurts his former teammates in the first game. And with Russell up to his old tricks against Willis Reed, Boston breaks away to a 2-0 lead. Havlicek to Howell for the basket. Walt Frazier gets the Knicks going with a wild 3rd game. 26 points, 12 assists, and 11 rebounds. Frazier is a one-man wrecking crew. It's Reed versus Russell in their private dogfight, and Bill gives Boston a 3-1 lead. But now, the tables turn. Reed stops the Celtic coach and center very decisively. Watch the pretty pass by Bradley as Reed goes right past Russell for the basket. When DeBusschere and Reed end their game of volleyball, the determined Knicks go back to Boston trailing 3-2. The Knicks suffer a blow when Walt Frazier injures a groin. This forces Bradley backcourt, and the emergency use of Chazzy Russell, just recovered from a broken ankle. The Celtics, of course, never let up. With time running out in this 6th game, a clutch shot by John Havlicek wins it 106-105. Happy days are here in Boston. So the big series starts in Los Angeles with the Lakers versus Boston for the championship and Chamberlain versus Russell again. Jerry West erupts for 53 points in the opener, and Los Angeles takes the first game. The incomparable Jerry makes 41 points in the second game, and Los Angeles is on its way again. Add to this Chamberlain's rebounding and Elgin Baylor's great play, It more than compensates for 80 points by Boston's Havlicek in the first two games. The championship flags hang high in Boston Garden, and the redoubtable Celtics have by no means given up. Throughout the country, interest centers on this arena as Boston seeks to come from behind. The old Celtics are off and running when Russell pressures Johnny Egan. And Sam Jones gives to Havlicek for two of his 34 points. Again, it's Russell blocking. And Larry Siegfried racks up 28 points. Boston wins the third game of the series. Jerry West breaks out again in the fourth game, driving around Russell for the basket. Chamberlain breaks out too. Watch the struggle as he and Russell battle to a draw. With 21 seconds to play, the Lakers have a 1-point lead and possession. But Bryant steals the ball and Boston has a chance. Sam Jones' shot is deflected by Chamberlain and Baylor chases it out of bounds. It's Boston's ball with 7 seconds left. Havlicek beats Jones, who shoots off the wrong foot. Boston wins on this desperation shot, 89-88, and the series is tied at 2-all. Back in Los Angeles, the Lakers win the fifth game, but high-scoring West is hurt. Jerry, heavily taped, tests his leg before the sixth game in Boston. Will he be able to play? He sure is. Sam Jones is introduced for the last time in Boston before retiring after 12 years and gets a long standing ovation. What a clutch player he's been, the last of the Jones boys. Jerry West tries, but he cannot move and drive. He passes to Egan, who hits. Emmett Bryant, another clutch player, scores 18 points and helps send the series back to Los Angeles for the final game. Boston gets the tap, an ominous sign, and Havlicek opens the scoring. Johnny Egan for the Lakers. No good, and Russell rebounds. Sam Jones races to score. Boston runs up a 17-point lead with 10 minutes to play. Still, the incredible Lakers, led by the battling West, unbelievably come back. Chamberlain limps off, never to return with 5 minutes and 19 seconds to go. Los Angeles trails by just a point, and they've got the ball. Keith Erickson spots Elgin Baylor underneath. But Bill Russell drops off and steals the pass. Boston still leads with a minute to go. Los Angeles double teams Larry Siegfried. Out to Havlicek, a dangerous man. Erickson swipes at the ball, but it goes right to Don Nelson, who shoots. The ball bounces straight up and straight down. And the Celtics win their 11th NBA championship in 13 years. The old men of Boston have done it again. A great year for the Celtics and the NBA. A year when the NBA, already established in Seattle, the Northwest, opened the door to the Southeast by moving into Atlanta. It was a year when Phoenix and Milwaukee joined the league to give it sports rights to Lou Alcindor, one of the finest college players of all time, were obtained by Milwaukee in a toss of the coin with Phoenix. Alcindor, who led UCLA to an unprecedented 3 consecutive national championships. It was a year of record attendance in the NBA, as over 41,000 turned out for a doubleheader in Houston's spacious Astrodome. And over 4.25 million fans watched the entire league in action. For the NBA, its greatest year. Jackson.